Elon Musk, tech innovator, billionaire and often a magnet for controversy, is now making headlines not for rocket or AI, but for his unexpected plunge into British politics. His recent social media tirades have reignited discussions about one of the UK's most painful scandals, the grooming gangs case. What's the story and why does it matter? Let's break it all down. It all started when Musk, on his social media platform X, began targeting UK Labour figures like Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Safeguarding Minister Jess Phillips. He accused Starmer of being deeply complicit in mass rapes. Musk even labelled Phillip a rape genocide apologist and demanded she face prison time. To understand why Musk's comments are so incendiary, we need to revisit the grooming gang scandal. From the late 1990s to early 2010s, gangs of men, primarily of Pakistani heritage, were allegedly found to have groomed, drugged and raped girls in towns like Rotherham, Rochdale and Oldham. In 2014, Professor Alexis Jay's report revealed that over 1,400 children in Rotherham alone were exploited between 1997 and 2013. The abuse followed a chilling pattern, countering young girls in public places, introducing them to drugs and alcohol, and then coercing them to sexual relationships that escalated into horrific abuse. As per Musk, local authorities and police failed to act for years. Victims and their families were ignored, with some officers dismissing the abuse as a lifestyle choice. The racial dynamics, white victims and mostly South Asian perpetrators added another layer of complexity. Authorities feared being labelled racist for addressing the ethnicity of the offenders. In recent years, official data has provided some clarity. In 2023, 83% of convicted child sexual abuse perpetrators in the UK were white, reflecting the country's demographics. However, specific cases like Rotherham have shown a disproportionate involvement of South Asian men in certain types of street grooming. Experts including Nazir Afzal, a former chief prosecutor, cautioned against racial generalization. Afzal himself, of Pakistani heritage, has highlighted that while ethnicity played a role in some cases, the vast majority of child abuse in the UK remains committed by white men. Musk's involvement comes after Jess Phillips rejected a request for a national inquiry into grooming cases in Oldham. Phillips argued that local authorities should lead these investigations, as they have done in other towns. Musk seized on the controversy, using inflammatory language and making sweeping accusations. The grooming gang scandal is back in the headlines because of renewed call for accountability. Opposition politicians, including Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch and right-wing Reform Party leader Nigel Farage, are now pushing for a national inquiry. They are reacting to reports that the UK government has instructed Oldham Council to conduct its own investigation into grooming cases. Meanwhile, numerous investigations into child sexual abuse in northern England have already been conducted. A broader national inquiry published in 2022 examined child sexual abuse within churches and schools, offering several recommendations that remain unimplemented. Labour Prime Minister Keir Starmer's government, elected in July, has promised to work at pace to implement these recommendations. Yet the debate about whether more inquiries are necessary continues to rage. And of course, Elon Musk has amplified the issue, adding fuel to the fire. He accused Safeguarding Minister Jess Phillips of being rape genocide apologist who should be imprisoned for her stance on the investigations. Musk did not stop there. He also called for Keir Starmer to resign, claiming Starmer failed to prosecute when he was running the Crown Prosecution Service. Prime Minister Starmer has condemned the spread of misinformation, calling out those who use victim as political pawns. Labour figures are rallying against what they describe as an attempt to weaponize a tragedy for political gain. Musk's endorsement of controversial figures like Nigel Farage and Tommy Robinson further complicates his role in British politics, raising questions about his motivations and influence. The real tragedy here is the survivors and their families are still waiting for meaningful change. Professor Alexis J., who led the 2014 Rotherham inquiry, recently said, "We have had enough inquiries, now it's time for action." Yet many of our recommendations remain unimplemented. Musk's social media platform X has become a battleground for political discourse in the UK. His intervention taps into a broader issue, the way media, both traditional and social, has fueled polarizing narratives around sensitive topics like the grooming gang scandal. While Musk may have brought attention to the issue, his approach raises a significant question. How do we ensure that media, especially influential figures, contribute to productive, evidence-based conversations rather than inflaming emotions and dividing the public further? This is not just a story about Musk's tweet or political bickering. It's about systemic failure, racial tension, and most importantly, justice for the survivors. Let's keep the focus where it belongs, on meaningful change.